watching your favorite story program, The Buzz. Now, that video is quite troubling. So, but first, before I ask him a question, let's introduce our guest. He's well now. We have Segun Sokuto, who is the chairman of Bold Art Network. It's good to have you, sir. Good afternoon.
It's good to be here. Good afternoon. Lagos, navigating your way through Lagos sometimes it's work.
A lot of work.
Creative, you have to be patient and all that. So.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so about the video we just watched. Now, obviously that is quite wrong, but I feel like, to be honest, this is not the first time. Even if this is recorded, I feel like a lot of orphanage homes get to convert or divert, funds and items given to these this orphans, right? And I feel this is wrong. But my question is, why is it that we have a lot of orphanage homes and we do not have a regulation to them? Like, I feel the federal government have to put a hand in this.
To check.
To check, both the staffs, their home. I feel like someone, I'm sorry, no offense to you, I feel like someone who's pretty hungry should not be working in an orphanage home and should not even be the owner or any principal in the orphanage home, because definitely you end up converting what is not yours to yours. I don't know, but let me ask Mr. Segun, what do you think about all of this?
It's very unfortunate, but what we saw in that video is something we know happens. We know that a lot of people out there in society want to do good, and they go to lengths to put the structures in place to do that good. But unfortunately, as with all things in life, there are abuses and there are people fake. Whatever original you have a fake, right? So there are people out there who are fake philanthropists, fake NGOs, fake civil society quacks, just like you have quack doctors and all of that. So for me, there are two dimensions to this. One would be that for you as a society, as a member of society who wants to do good and who is giving donations, and all of that to these organizations, shine your eye, do your due diligence, ensure that whoever you're supporting, whoever you're partnering with and giving your resources to, your hard-earned resources, ensure that they're doing what they were set up to. And it's really not hard to confirm this. A visit or two, periodically, will see to that. So whether it's orphanage or people that are, there are some that are set up to support widows, all sorts, people supporting school fees payments. My late mom, both my dad and my mom actually had an NGO that we're still planning to bring back, and we paid a lot of school fees during that period. And I know how hard it was to get people to support us because of this issue, because of this video that you played. We are skeptical. So the people that gave us money are people that knew me personally, or knew my mom personally and trusted us. But it shouldn't be that way. The second dimension is that I think that as unpopular as this idea is, because of the kind of society we live in and the very huge trust deficit that exists with government, I feel that regulation is necessary.
Exactly.
So I feel that regulation is necessary. I feel, there was a time that the Senate, I don't know if it was the federal government, it was an executive bill or a private bill from it. But there was a talk about some sort of regulatory commission for civil society organizations and NGOs, including churches and mosques.
I think it was the Senate.
But there was a lot of resistance to that. There was a lot of resistance. And the resistance was standing, given the kind of government that we tended to have in this country. The government officials and politicians themselves are not living above board. How can they regulate? So if you have that kind of law, the tendency and likelihood is that to be abused and used to wash free speech and opposition, and all of that. However, if we're able to find a way to structure a regulation that provides proper framework that can't be abused by government, to sort of provide oversight. Because who regulates these people? If you collect money, you collect 10 million naira in the space of maybe a month or 2 months or whatever. Who guarantees that 10 million naira will be judiciously deployed to the purpose for which it was collected? Who guarantees that the person that collected the 10 million naira will not use out of that 10 million naira 3 million to go and buy one small car or something, or go on vacation, you know, and then use the balance to do something that you can quickly take pictures with and then say you've done it? You know, who does all of that? So at the end of the day, for me, we have to continue to talk about how to regulate ourselves as a society without overdoing it, without going overboard. You know, social media regulation was also very controversial, but as we can see from things that keep happening, it's necessary. You know, so we need to strike a balance. I'm against government having a government that's overbearing and too strong, but I also don't believe in on restrained freedom. You know, every freedom comes with responsibility. So I think there's a need for regulation in this space, but I honestly don't know how that will work, given how our governments are. I mean, look at what is happening with the Cyber Crimes Act now. If I say anything anyhow now, to every partition or to you can decide to go to police, they will carry me. On cyber crime, in fact, what am I saying? Look at my brother. He's a living witness.
What happened?
He's abused, you know, so that's the challenge. You know, I think we need to find a balance so that we can regulate this people. Because honestly, as I am speaking with you now, just this morning I was going to wire money to an NGO that is based in Port Harcourt, run by a very good old friend of mine, and they support missionaries. You know, there are people who want to do these types of things, but when you see videos like this, it
discourages you.
You know, I will always do what I want to do because I'm doing it for God. You know, but I think we need to find a way to make sure that trust can be built within that space.
Okay, well, you've mentioned very valid solutions, but I want to pick it from the angle of some school of thought. As Nigerians that we are, we have a lot of people with different thoughts. Now, reading the comment section of this video, I noticed some persons were still saying that even if they donated them to the orphanage homes, the staffs are still gonna eat part of it. So invariably it's trying to say that yes, they should not be diverting the item, but they can still partake of what is there because they also have to feed. What do you think about that? Does that make any sense?
Look, there is a body regulating NGOs in Nigeria. But thank God that there is a new bill on tax reform.
Okay.
Before, FRS, as much as they are not collecting money from NGOs, they must file returns. Returns in the sense that the money accrued to them, the way they spend it must be filed. How many of them are doing that? Then another thing again is, you see these NGOs, some people are turning into business. Man, you get to Bronu, last 3 years that I went to Bronu, come and see different NGOs. Man, they are collecting dollars from people and you see them, what they are even sharing. But the thing there is this, I will still take it back to the government. That oversight, because there is an agency that is in charge of that. Even that is in charge of religious, because all those religious houses, they carry it as non-governmental organization. That's why they don't pay tax. Do you know that part of the law? That's why you see, if you see some pastors that hold the church, they are calling themselves pastor. It's not that they want to call themselves pastor before, because anybody that is general overseer, he has a time limit. According to the law, when one particular man that head the agency wanted to change that, you remember what happened? They removed that man up. And that man scatter everywhere. That you cannot be general overseer for 10, 15 years. In that duration. So, how many of them even have board of trustees that can speak to them? I know a particular church in Lagos here. He did one thing that the board of trustees was unhappy about it. They called for meeting. And those said, if he's supposed to spend that money without board of trustees knowing, he said, okay, that is sorry that after this sermon, they have a service. After this service, we'll trash it out. If you didn't get to that pulpit, he said he dissolved all the board of trustees.
Oh my word. I wasn't expecting that.
So, having said that, look, it is a high time.
Oh no.
Those people that are working with these children as workers, don't let us deceive ourselves. they have the right. If they are living there, if they are staying with them there, I'm talking about the workers. I'm not talking about the owners though. If the owner is also working there, there is no way. It's just like you said your mommy will cook to serve your children. Your dad gave money on ground to cook, and you see your mommy will not taste it. There is no way you want to do it. So that one is understandable. Diverting is another thing. That means you are taking it away. What is meant for? Because one thing, if you go and see even in the Bible, those people that are collecting, offering, whatever, there are lists of people that can benefit from this. Those people taking it on behalf of the church. That is where the issue of pastors, they must have some certain percentage. If they are doing full-time work. Then two, those people that are meant for, even those people that are going to share to them, because if you don't give those people that are going to share to them, they are joking, I don't know the one that are going to share it. But the problem there is that, in fact, there are some of wives, children of politicians, they have turned NGO into another kalo. I'm telling you, it is important that, apart from the fear of God, the government needs to come in. It's not that overbearing, as Mr. Shokun said, but I know politicians, if they now turn it into, before you know it, every NGO owner must be a politician. So, but one thing that is important there is that I think our NGO should stop all this. When some certain people, it's not that they are also well, they are taking out of their little whatever.
Yeah,
so you are not biting it. In fact, let me tell you, in Ogun State, for instance, now, because all those social service, Minister of Social Service, that particular agency is under him. In every state, those women affairs and poverty alleviation, they are supposed to be looking in their various states. Because a lot of racket. In fact, there are some certain orphanage homes that they are diverting kids, they are selling kids. I know a particular spiritual story that has been written last year on this particular thing. I think government needs to look into and see what they are doing. How many things is being given to them? After all, they normally have record. How did they share it to those kids? If it is rice, how many bag of rice you sell? So that they can be able to have, if they know there's going to be a record, they are going to file. I think there will be a little bit of decency there. And please, people should not say because of this, you are not going to take things to motherless babies. These people, they need us. Those children living to us, we could not strive hard to take care of them the way we. What of those people that we don't have it at all? So please, we should not say because we are doing it for God. We are not doing it for the owner of those orphanage homes, but we are doing it for God. So we should not, because of that, be discouraged. But one thing there is that government needs to do something, and we also, if you are a regular in one orphanage home, please let us be taking time. If you are donating there, let us be taking time to visit there, so that at least you'll be able to know what are the things. I always tell people, I don't believe only in food, drinks. There are some things they need that are critical that they will not talk about. It's only food they always talk about. Some people just say, what tissue paper down there. There are some things they need that is not even expensive. For instance, now I get to one orphanage home, I discover that on one extension box, 3 TVs is one extension box.
That's risky.
So those kids, because they don't have much. I look at it. When others are trying to give money, I say I'm coming. And I went to buy like 6 or 7 and give them. There are some little things they will need. That those kids are, even ordinary TV that you normally throw away, that you can take it there. So far it's still working. So that these children can have access to it just like any other children in the world.
Okay. All right. So
let me just quickly chip in there that the issue of regulation, just like you said, we have the Financial Regulatory Council, who have powers of oversight over all organizations in Nigeria, including youth. And then we have the CAC that is supposed to take returns from every organization that are registered by them. But I think that we just need to do a bit more so that we see more specific, specialized regulation in that space, so that we can really, there's a lot of good that can come from that if people can develop confidence in the activities of the players there. So just to quickly ask,
I want to mention something too on that video. You see, the items were very plenty, so I'm thinking it's probably not just the owner of the orphanage home and the staffs. I think it's going higher than, maybe the authorities that are supposed to come and check balance what's going on in the orphanage homes. I think I don't think that.
If you look at public schools, I could recall when we are growing up in public school. Any tiny week. At that time, inspector can come at any time. Before they will be singing it to your hearing. I don't want, even the headmistress will be telling the teachers, you know, inspector can come anytime. If they know somebody is going to check them and will not tell them, there's a way they will be cautious. Compared to when there is nobody. Well, I must confess, majority of our agencies is just by name. That's why when they see somebody as a scapegoat, that's why you are going to hear them. Look at that LCCC in Abuja. It's only in Abuja. They are in all the states now. How come they did not come to Lagos? Come and see what some certain companies are doing for their customers. Why only in Abuja that we are going to? So I think the agencies of government in charge of these NGOs should come in the area of finances, in the area of checking their hygienic situation. They should be able to look at this so that if there is any other law that could be made that will assist them, they will be able to know.
Okay, so we have some messages. Let's read. Okay, this is under the comment section, but I had to pick it because it's something to learn about. This one says, this is one of the reasons I stopped going to Orphanage to donate. So I had this neighbor who sells foodstuffs and provisions at Keja then. So one time we wanted to visit Orphanage. She advised us to go to a particular one. I later found out that almost everything she sells in her shop, she buys them from the orphanage. Now, found out that the yam I took there, that my mom had a signature on it because it was from Benin. So I decided to add them while taking it to them. Unfortunately, I saw it back in a store. I'm sorry. I saw it back in a store, even with the bag of rice in her shop. I was like, no wonder these children look malnourished when we always go there. They only feed them few out of the foods donated and the rest. Well, there's another message. This one says, congratulations to the president and education minister. He has commercialized education from day one by increasing school fees, also introducing student loan, which is a low grade mine idea. You have the highest out of school children in the world, more than 80 million children out of school. Today, JAM has reduced, that's another thing we need to talk about. JAM has reduced the mark from 250 to 150 for JAM, now 100 for Polytechnic. All this because he prioritized making money than education. That is why he has destroyed it, to breed aggros and ignorant people for election gain. I want to ask, where is this Okay, well, certificate of a president, can he show it to Nigerians? Which school did he attend and all of that? Is it traceable? A doctor as an education minister. That is why nothing is working. They have taken the children's bread and given it to the dogs, making the people's lives so hard. That is why we are in this nightmare. It's the worst. The best of us is the worst. The worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. And the last message says, why do Senate always collect? Okay, so why do Senate, I think this person is a lecturer, why do Senate get their salary, yet lecturers do not? So that's in reaction to that
on
one.
Different platform. What they create for, you know, the way money gets to the employee of government is different from those people in government. They already, you know, there is a commission for the National Assembly that they draw their money from. It's not that it's coming from federal government though. Immediately they budget, the one that is for them, they have a commission that is paying them. So that one will never fail. If they want to collect money for attires they are going to wear for 3 months is already paid. The one for newspaper for 3 months or 6 months is paid. The one for tea, the one for their heads is not going to. That one has been programmed, but the one for the teachers are not programmed. Is when it comes from the up, they will draw it to that particular platform that will pay them. So if that one did not come early, there is no way the platform can distribute it. So the way we take care of our politicians is different from the way we take care of other citizens. We are the ones servicing them.
Okay, well, we have to move to the next one. Hopefully for NGOs out there, please do the right thing. And of course, the orphanage, please. I think I would like to even say this for anyone. If you want to do this, you want to donate, like Shopiton said, please always go there to check, visit at the odd hours or timing when they do not expect, to confirm if those things or items or money sent, you can actually make them accountable because you actually, giving to them. Make them accountable and ask for them. If not, I think, for me, I feel they should be taken to court or be arrested, because that's a criminal offense for me. Something that's not for you, you're taking it out. So that's it.